All right, I'm just going to be going over SHIB or Shiba Inu token in its comparison with Dogecoin and the belief or ideal that Shiba token will one day be worth 1 penny per token or $1 per token. So first thing I'm going to go over, and I'll be touching on a few different things, so this won't be the most structured information as far as like the flow goes and everything. Also, the numbers will change slightly because as I was going over this stuff, the price of Shiba coin has gone up and down throughout the day. Same thing with Dogecoin. That has gone down since I started this, and that has gone up and down. All right, so to begin with, Shiba token started off with 1 quadrillion total tokens, which it has since had a good amount burned. So it is sitting at 394.8 trillion tokens in its circulating supply. At the time that I wrote this down, that comes out to $12.32 billion as its market cap, sitting at a price of 0.00003263 cents, or whatever the heck you want to call it. All right. In comparison, Doge, when I wrote all this down, was sitting at $131.7 billion as its market cap, with 8 million coins created per day, or 14.4 depending on what source you go with as far as how much is created a day. Circulating supply, sorry. And then market cap is 30.63 billion as of today, with a price of 0.23 or 23.63 cents. If you go at a increase of 8 million Dogecoin per day at 365 days a year, that comes out to $2.92 billion a year, or 14.4 million Dogecoin being created a day, 365 days, comes out to 5.256 billion Dogecoin a year. All right, moving back on over to Shiba. And why I'm using this comparison is because people will say that, Dogecoin's a inflationary coin, it's constantly printing or whatever, and Shiba's deflationary because we burn tokens or whatever with transactions and so on and so forth and whatever. All right, so if you were to take the 8 million coins per day, which is 2.92 billion per year, and then I guess divide that into the current amount of Shiba Inu tokens, it would take 136,137 years to equal the total amount of supply, going from Doge's 131.7 billion to Shiba Inu's 394.8 trillion circulating supply. If you were to then change that from the 8 million per day to the 14.4 million per day, it would come out to 5.256 billion per year, and that would take 75,057 years to equal Shiba's supply. Okay, well you forgot to factor in the whole burning thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and just cut that in half. Let's say we burned half of this supply starting tomorrow. If you burned half of that, all you would do is cut this in half or cut that in half. There is not one person on this earth that will be alive by the time this has translated into that. So the whole narrative of Doge is worse off than Shiba because of its inflationary status and the fact that it is creating X amount of Doge each year is an ignorant narrative to go with, to say the least. All right, so now that that's out of the way, next thing we'll get into is this comparison right here between Doge and Shiba. So the whole thing right now is Shiba to the moon. It's going to reach 1 penny one day, or it's going to reach $1 one day. This is a comparison between the two, what it would look like going through these multipliers and what it would take to get Dogecoin from its current value to just above $1, and Shiba Inu to get it to 1 cent or $1, and then the multipliers and stuff like that. So Shiba Inu, current market value or market cap of 12.34 billion, current price 0.00003249. If you would take that and you multiply it a 10x factor, essentially moving one of the zeros away, it would bump the market cap up to 123.4 billion. If we go ahead and 10x that, removing 100x that, moving another zero to 0.003249, that brings us to a market cap of 1.234 trillion. And then on to the next one, a 1000x, essentially moving another 0.03. So we have finally hit that penny mark or slightly above it. Gives us a market cap of 12.34 trillion. Moving on again, a 10,000x, getting us up to 32 cents per Shiba coin, which would essentially get us equal to and slightly above what Dogecoin is at currently. That would give us a market cap of 123.4 trillion dollars market cap. And then finally, moving on to $3.249, which is 100,000x of its current price right now. That would come out to $1.234 quadrillion in market cap. Astronomical numbers, and just ludicrous and stupid to think that it would ever reach anything close to that. Oh, well, let's go ahead and factor in the burn and all that stuff. Okay, so again, if you're factoring all the burning transactions, all that gimmick stuff into there, it's barely going to change any of this. Even if you were to cut the entire supply by half, go ahead and just cut all these numbers in half, and it's still going to be astronomical numbers, which has no relation to reality. All right, next thing. So if we were to hit 1 penny, it would be a market cap of $3.8 trillion, equivalent to a 308x of the current price now. And then for it to hit $1, $380 trillion, essentially needing a 30,800x to get SHIB from its current price and current market value to these two things that people, for whatever reason, believe that one day SHIB will hit either a penny or $1. And they believe this because there are a lot of YouTubers out there that are feeding them a bunch of bullshit so that they can get clicks and views on their YouTube channels. So screw you, asshats, for misleading people. All right, so let's go over here to Doge, sitting at 131.7 circulating supply, and its market cap. I didn't write the market cap on there. The market cap was sitting at 30.63 billion. So the numbers are going to be off actually, because I put the circulating supply as opposed to the market cap. But we'll just pretend that this is the market cap, even though it's not. This is actually much higher than what the market cap is. So even with our final numbers here, based off of the incorrect market cap, this would actually be much lower at reaching these things, which means that Doge could actually go much, much higher before even reaching these numbers. Because again, it is actually sitting at a current market cap of 30.63 billion as of today. All right. So if we take the 23 cents and we essentially 2x it, that gives us a market cap of $263 billion, or let's see here. I got the decimal in the wrong spot. Goodness gracious. Essentially gives us 47 cents. All right, so at 70 cents, market cap 395,000. Again, this would be much lower because this is not our market cap right now. The market cap is sitting at 30.63 billion. All right, if it was to bump up to 94 cents, essentially a 4x of today's price, 526,000 or 526 billion. Once Doge hits $1 or slightly above, which would be a 5x of today's price. Market cap of 658 billion. Again, going to be much lower because it should be sitting at 30.63 billion, not the 131.7 billion, which is actually the circulating supply. And then 6x, $1.4, $790 billion market cap. All right, so as you can see, this is attainable. This is not attainable. Alrighty. Next thing we will cover is the whole idea that each person that is buying Shiba Inu right now is going to one day be a millionaire. All right, all this information I'm pulling, you can find it online. Just type in number of millionaires in the world, GDP, all sorts of words that you can look through here, and you can find it within 5 minutes on the interweb. All right, so according to Credit Suisse, the global number of millionaires expanded by 5.2 million to reach 56.1 million in 2020. So that is the total number of millionaires in the entire world in 2020, 56 million millionaires. All right, Global Wealth Report states that the United States added 2,551,000 new millionaires from 2019 to 2020. And then lastly, the next thing that we'll cover over, and just keep these numbers in mind, 16 countries with a global domestic product, or GDP, of over $1 trillion as of 2020. All right, and keep that in mind because that will be important to what we're covering next, and also what we have already covered. So 3.8 trillion for 1 penny, 380 trillion for $1 for the market cap of this. Only 16 countries in this entire world have a GDP of 1 trillion or more dollars. So you're telling me that one day Shiba Inu will have a market cap that is greater than all countries except for 16 in the entire earth. Okay. All right, moving on to the next thing. And this information, the numbers, is actively updated on the Shiba coin website or Shiba Inu website. So you can go ahead and fact check this as much as you like. As of the time that I wrote this down, 711,825 total holders of Shiba. Excuse me. As of 12:49 Alaska Standard Time, October 11th, 2021. All right. So if we are going to go with this whole narrative and idea that everybody's going to be a millionaire with Shiba Inu coin one day, I put down some numbers, and then I broke it down into if only half of the people that are holding Shiba become millionaires one day, and then if only 1/4 of the individuals that are holding Shiba Inu token become millionaires one day. All right, so going off of the current price of today, which is 0.00003249 per Shiba Inu token, that comes out to $3,249 if you are holding a total of 100 million Shiba Inu tokens. If you were to bump that up, removing one of those zeros, essentially 10xing, that would give you $32,490 or $32,490 based off of the current price. Same amount, 100 million. If you had a 100x, essentially bumping it to 0.003249, your worth would be $324,900. Current price from today. And then lastly, 1000x of a current price, getting it to 3 cents, you would have a total of $3,249,000 would be what your worth would be if Shiba Inu bumped up to 3 cents. All right, next thing. So if we took those 711,825 users, and each one of them was holding at least 1 million Shiba Inu tokens, that would come out to $2.312 trillion. So let's go ahead and bounce back to this one real quick here. We know that there are only 56.1 million millionaires in the entire earth, and that we had 2.251 million new millionaires in, 2020. All right. And then also another number that I didn't pull off of here. In order to be labeled as being in the 1%, you have to own 10 million or more dollars, or have 10 million or more dollars worth of assets, I guess. All right, so next thing, if we were just bump that down to half of the people holding Shiba Inu, 355,912.5, Sitting at that price, it would come out to 1.156 trillion. Again, both of these are more than all of the countries in the Earth's individual GDP, except for 16 individual countries. And you can find the GDP list online for 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017, so on and so forth. And it'll show you each country what their GDP is and what they're worth. So you can fact check all this stuff that I'm putting out there. Do your own due diligence, research this stuff for yourself, and don't believe anything I say. Don't take it at face value. Do your own research. And then lastly, if we were to take a quarter of the people holding Shiba Inu, it'd be 177,956.25 people, so like a quarter of a person. That would come out to $578 billion. All right. So with all this information, go ahead and just put this in here. Yes, or whatever. The system that we live in is not designed for, 700,000, 300,000, or even 177,000 random people, who the majority of which are probably either middle class or lower class citizens across this earth. It is not set up for you individuals to become millionaires. That would just break the system, and that would destroy the whole ability to have control over those people who are stuck in those classes and whatnot. Sure, go ahead and get an Shiba Inu, make your money, so on and so forth. Be smart with your investing and stuff, but don't go into it with this ideal that you're going to one day be a millionaire. It is literally impossible for it to ever reach $1, as $380 trillion is greater than the entire GDP of the entire Earth. The GDP for the entire Earth as of 2020 was a little over $80 trillion. So Shiba Inu will never have a market cap of multiples of the world's GDP. And I don't ever see it even hitting $3.8 trillion. Right now, Bitcoin is barely above 1 trillion. And you're not going to see that amount of money flow into Shiba Inu coin. It's just not going to happen. So, I could be wrong. Sure, maybe, huge maybe that it hits 1 penny one day. But no way on earth is it ever going to hit $1 per Shiba Inu token. Go into your investments, being wise, knowing how the system works, and knowing how market value and all that stuff works. Do your own research, do your own due diligence, and please don't be misled by people who are just trying to get you to join into something so that they can make gains, and also YouTubers who are putting out, I don't even want to call it information, but just saying stuff so that they can get clicks and views and getting, monetization and stuff like that. Take your time to look into stuff for yourself. Thanks.